Should we talk about some things that happened this week?
Sure, I got one. If you got anything there, Ren, fire us off.
Welcome to Wrestling Banter with the Boys.
Well, I know we've been talking about this collab with Impact, but now, two things I really wanted to talk about. But the collab, I forgot all about New Japan Strong. I completely forgot about them and being U.S. based and everything. So supposedly Moxley showed up there last Saturday, broke up a Kenta match, and now they have a match at the end of February 26th. That'll be Moxley versus Kenta for the U.S. title. Now, that's before Revolution, and I don't know. I don't think that maybe they would do it beforehand, but or at Revolution. But there was a thing with New Japan before. They said they couldn't wrestle on American ground, any of the AEW wrestlers, and vice versa. So there has been some giveaway somewhere to let Moxley wrestle Kenta February 26th. What do you guys think of that?
My first thought was everything what you just said makes perfect sense, and I think the give there is the fact that New Japan wants their belt back. It's been on Moxley for over a year now, and you can't get him over to Japan to do the match or an angle over there like they would obviously prefer. And I think it's just kind of like, hey, how do we get out of this situation? How do we get the title off Moxley onto one of our guys? We have to do the match somewhere. And we had heard that Kenta was in Orlando a week or two ago. The show is filmed, New Japan Strong is filmed in California. But my guess is just, here's an opportunity. We can get Moxley and Kenta in the same place or the same time. We can do this match, even if it's not in Japan. It's under the New Japan Pro Wrestling umbrella, and I would be shocked if Moxley retains the title. But just because of the way this seems, it screams Kenta takes it back to New Japan, and they can spin off into angles with that title there with their kind of contracted performers. And kind of AEW and Moxley kind of get out from underneath this kind of tangled web that they're in right now too, until they can maybe do something more substantial once the borders open up at the end of COVID and all that. But that's just my read on the situation. That's the note I had to bring up too as well, Ran. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on anything else with this or my thoughts on it.
I think you pretty much echoed everything we were all thinking, right?
Yeah.
It has been a bit of a mess for them I know they've been trying to get the belt off Moxley for a long time. I mean, he's kind of moving out of a championship phase right now, Moxley, where he's kind of becoming the underdog, especially with AEW, right? But I mean, it makes sense if they can figure out something here and not let it slip through their fingers. Because unfortunately, with travel restrictions and everything, who knows when the next time he can get to Japan is. And you just keep delaying this storyline. It's been going on for 6 months, 7 months now, something like that. I don't know how long he's had the belt, but I know
he's had the belt since last January. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're kind of really, they have to wrap it up soon and figure out something for it. And yeah, all signs do point to Kenta taking the belt back.
The second, I have 3 points actually. The second point, and I'll be real quick, is if anybody hasn't listened to the AEW Unrestricted podcast with Amanda Huber, go listen to it. She explains everything. In some ways, it's hard to hear. In other ways, it was good to hear. So there's no way to describe it. It's very, very good. It's an hour and a little long. Did you guys have a chance to listen to that?
I have not yet.
I started it. I haven't finished it. It is a very tough listen. It's very. That's why I kind of took a break, right? So
it pulls on the heartstrings a little, but it is really, really good listen. And I guess the last thing was. This is talking about the other promotion, but it associates with AEW. Did you guys notice certain people wearing a certain costume last night in the Royal Rumble?
I did. Our boys, the New Day. I love New Day. But they represented Brody Lee, John Huber very well with their tribute gear, which I heard today they're auctioning off for charity, the gear they wore.
Awesome.
Good stuff. if you guys haven't seen it, it's for the part where Sami Zayn's talking. Sami more or less says, "I have eyes in the back of the head," and they turn around and you get to see it there. It's a good little tribute there. Way to go, WWE for letting them do that, and New Day for doing that for him. And they wore it into the ring too. That you seen him part of the Rumble.
I did listen to a podcast. I watched the video version on YouTube that the New Day put together as a tribute to John Huber, and it was the guys from the New Day along with Tyler Breeze, Eric Rowan, and Cesaro, I believe.
Yeah.
They just talked for like almost 2 hours, just sharing stories of John Huber and their memories together. And I thought it was a really great listen to. Another like emotional episode, obviously, but I thought Xavier Woods kind of hosted it with the New Day guys and got it all together, and it's a really great listen. I watched it on YouTube there, so it's another one I would recommend.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little spoiler, Matt, on the Amanda Huber thing. She talks about when it happened, how it happened, and the very last day. And one of the people that you mentioned was in the room. So she goes in full detail on it. It is a really hard listen, but it is an informative and good listen. She feels a lot better explaining it, and you feel a relief for her. So it was good.
Rest in peace, John Huber. Yeah.
Yes.